Hi guys, Brooke from Snuggly Fox Designs here. Today we're going to be learning how to make this cute little minion hat, and I did this in size 3 to 6 months, but on the website you can find the pattern for all sizes. Alright, hope you enjoy. So to start out, we're going to make a magic circle, and I'll post a tutorial link below if you need that. Then we're going to chain 1 and place 10 single crochets in the magic circle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you don't lose track of this because you got to use it to pull it tight. 9, 10. Then we're going to pull it tight and slip stitch to join. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get through that first slip stitch with the single crochet. For this part here, we're just going to tie this tight and then we'll weave in this end later. But I normally leave it until I'm done like with the whole hat, just because I don't feel like getting my needle out more than once and whatever. So anyways, then next you're going to start off with a chainless starting double crochet, which I can post a link for that too. But basically it's just like a double crochet. But you just pull up the loop a little bit and double crochet in that first stitch. And then when you come back around at the end, you're going to skip over that double crochet and slip stitch into the next. So this is your chainless starting, and then you do a double crochet in the same stitch. And then you go 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So for this second round, you do 2 double crochets in each stitch around, and that's going to get you to 20 stitches. So you just keep going around here, and then when you get all the way to the end, you're going to put your last double crochet in the same stitch as your chainless starting double crochet and your double crochet, just so that there's not like a gap there. And then you're going to skip your chainless starting double crochet when you're slip stitching, and you slip stitch to the first double crochet that you did that wasn't the chainless starting, so that then you don't have a hole and the chainless starting is hidden behind it. So here you are at the end of your 20 stitches, and technically this is 20, but we're going to go ahead and put our last one right here. And then you can always see your chainless starting because it is slanted just a little bit. Like, see how it's below the other ones? So you're not going to put your hook there. That would give you 21 stitches. You're going to skip it and you're going to put your hook right here. And that's going to give you a nice round circle that doesn't really have a seam. So then the next round, you're going to do your chainless starting again. Oops. Chainless starting, double crochet. And then you do double crochet in the same stitch still. So it's like we have 2. And then you do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And then you continue 2 in the same stitch, 1 in the next. And you go all the way around. And this is going to get you to 40 double crochets. So if you're ever wondering, if you're placing your stitches in the right ones, just make sure that you're counting and you're looking at the stitch counts. All the stitch counts are at the end of each round or row. So if you just look back and just count them as you're going and make sure that they're correct. And then, because you don't want to be a few rounds in and be like, oh my gosh, I dropped a stitch somewhere. So counting is always good. All right, we're almost to the end of our row here, and we are going to do the exact same thing as we did on our other one. Whoops, that one again. Let's see, we had 2, 1, so this one needs to be 2 now. Now you're going to end up with your 1. Now then you are going to end up with 1 extra stitch right here. And this one is going to cancel out this stitch. So you do your double crochet in the last stitch right there. It's really like the same as your kind of like the same as your first one. And then you skip this one right here and you slip stitch to this next one right here. Now the next round, we're going to do the same type of thing. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Whoops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, just like that. Now this round is going to have 2 single, single. So now we have 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. So 2 double crochets, and then we have 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and we repeat that sequence all the way around. And then you're going to do your last double crochet in the same stitch and slip stitch over just like we did before. So we made it all the way around with our 2 double crochets, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet. We're going to put our our last stitch into this one again. We're going to skip the chainless starting double crochet to join, and we're going to join it in this next one right here. So now we have one more round of increases in order to make the 3 to 6 month hat or the 0 to 3 hat. So we're going to do one more round. So we have our chainless starting again, double crochet in the same stitch, double crochet in the next 3 stitches now. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to do that all the way around. So 2 double crochet in the same stitch, double crochet in the next 3. And when we are done with this round, we're actually going to switch to black to kind of make the band of the goggles that they're wearing. So you don't have to tie off this yellow though. You can just carry it up to the next color. So you're at the end of the round, and we're going to put our last stitch in this one right here. Skip your chainless starting and you slip stitch into the next stitch. Now the next 2 rounds are going to be 2 rounds of just black, and you can carry the yarn up if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and snip it so that we get a nice clean color change. And the good thing about the chainless starting double crochets is that you do actually get a nice color change with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start it in this stitch, and we're going to put it on our hook first actually. And then we're going to yarn over on our hook, and we're going to insert it into that first stitch right there that you tied off before. And we're going to yarn over and pull through, right like that. Yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that's how you start it out. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch around then. So we have our 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep going all the way around. And so since this is just double crochet in each stitch around, when you get to the end, you're going to, it's going to almost look like you're putting 2 double crochets in the same stitch since you already have your chainless starting double crochet. But remember, you're actually skipping over that and like hiding that in the back. And it's just going to make a clean color change. So you continue to do this all the way around. So you're at your last stitch here. That's your last normal stitch. Then you're going to put the one more last stitch in this same one as your chainless starting double crochet. And you're going to skip over that one when you join. And you're going to join in this one. And yes, I know black is terrible. Hard to see. So then the next round you're going to do another just round of double crochet. So you do your chainless starting in the first stitch again, and you're just going to do double crochet in each stitch around, and the same thing like we did with the last round. When you end in the last stitch, then you skip your chainless starting and you slip stitch over to the next. Now, if you're just like confused with the chainless starting and you don't feel like doing it, you can definitely do just chain 1 to start instead, and skip over your chain 1 when you go to join and just chain to your double crochet. That's totally fine. Or, you know, you can just make this hat how you normally make all the hats and just follow the color changes and the types of stitches for each round. And the ear flaps at the end too. And that will give you a minion hat also. So you just keep doing this all the way around, double crochet in each stitch. Okay, so you're back around now. You're going to put your last one in the same as you did your chainless starting. Skip your chainless starting to join and join to the first double crochet. So now you're done with this black, so you can go ahead and just tie that off. And we're going to switch back to our yellow next. So same thing as we did with our black. We're going to start with the loop on our hook. Make sure you're leaving a little bit extra tail to weave in when you're all done. So you start with that on your hook. You're going to yarn over, and I always hold it with this finger. And we're going to have to insert it into our hat here. Yarn over and pull through. So you have 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. Now you're going to do a single crochet or double crochet, sorry, in the next stitch and each stitch around. And this is kind of sloppy looking. I didn't do that one very well, but you know what? It's going to be hidden inside the hat anyway. And then when I go in to tie or to weave in this tail, I can make this a little bit tighter in that part too. So it's really not going to matter. So you're going to end off this hat with doing 4 more rows of double crochet. Sorry, 4 more rounds of double crochet. I keep getting that little black piece stuck. Go slower. There we go. For the 0 to 3 hat, you're going to do 3 more rounds of yellow. So the last part of our hat is to add the ear flaps. So we're going to go ahead and start with a chain 1, right where we left off. So we're going to insert our hook and pull up our loop just like that. And we're going to have our chain 1 here. We're going to half double crochet in the same stitch. And in the next 9 stitches. Oops, that was a double crochet. There we go. And the next 9 stitches so that you have 10 half double crochets total. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the ear flaps or patterns are different for the different size hats. So this is the one for the 3 to 6 month size hat. And the 0 to 3 month, I believe. So you're going to chain 1 and turn, and you're going to do a half double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. And that's how I do the half double crochet decreases for this hat. Then you're going to half double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you'll have 2 extra stitches at the end, and you're going to do your half double crochet decrease in those 2 stitches. So we're going to turn the hat facing forward and count 16 stitches across the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And we're going to attach our yarn right here for the next side. And you do the exact same pattern for the next side. So you're going to chain 1, half double crochet in the same stitch, and in the next 9 stitches so that you have 10 total. Do your 1 half double crochet, and then in the next 9. 1, 2, 3, and we get all these lovely ends to weave in at the end. Not as much as some projects, but whenever you're doing color changes, there are a few ends to weave in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 2 more for 9 and 10. All right, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Do your half double crochet decrease again. Half double crochet across 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and half double crochet, decrease again. Now if you want to check that just to make sure that your sides are lining up, you can pause here and check that. And yep, we got our sides lined up there. So now we continue on, chain 1 and turn, decrease. You're gonna half double crochet across 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and do another decrease. I'm gonna do a chain 1 and turn again, half double crochet, decrease, half double crochet 2, half double crochet, decrease again, chain 1 and turn, decrease 2 times now with our half double crochets. Now that you're done with the row, or with that ear flap, we're going to single crochet down here and all the way around, just have a nice finish. So all the way down in each of these. Sometimes it's kind of hard to figure out where to put the hook, but you know what? It really doesn't matter where you put it on these ear flaps. Now, don't do too tight of single crochets across the bottom of the hat, because you want to still be able to have a little bit of stretch to your hat, and the single crochet is a little bit tighter stitch than the double crochet is. So if you do it too tight, then it won't stretch out as much to fit the baby's head. So just continue to single crochet across the bottom. And when you get to the point of the next ear flap, you're going to do 2 single crochets in that point, just to try and keep it a more triangular shape. All the way up this side here. Wherever the hook will go, that's where we'll put a single crochet. So now we're at the top again. Right there, we're going to put 2, 1, 2, to give it a nice top. And all the way back down the side. Just like that. Then we're going to go around the back side of the hat. Single crochet in each stitch around the back side. Again, make sure that you're not doing it too tight. I tend to have tighter tension, so I have to remind myself whenever I'm doing the single crochets across here to make sure not to do it too tight. We don't want to end up leaving a mark or whatever on the baby's head or the child's head. So we go up the side. Almost done. And then once we get to the top, we're going to slip stitch to join. So again, if you were doing, if you want to do the braid, you could just cut this long, and then you would cut all your braid pieces and attach it and braid it. But for this order, I just am doing the ear flaps and not the actual braids. So then at this point, you will weave in all those lovely tails and make your eyes and sew them on. Oh, the last step for this part actually is the hair. Almost forgot about that. This part is pretty fun. You just cut a few little pieces, and it really does not matter where you put them, just supposed to be quirky little hair sticking up. You fold it in half, and you insert your hook into the top. Now these are where the single crochets were, so it might be a little bit difficult to insert your hook in there. You could use a smaller hook if you needed to. You just pull it up, and you'll end up trimming these little hairs anyways. So if they're like super long, when you're attaching them, it doesn't matter because you're going to trim them anyway. And I think I do about 4, just sporadically across the top. And this is like the cute little hair on the little minion's head, just to be silly. Oops. Fold it in half. There we go. Whoops. Now you could just put one side through and like tie a knot, but I find it stays better this way. There we go. And we'll do one more. and then I'll trim it. Just sporadic little hairs here. Okay, now we're just going to trim them whatever length you want. They don't have to all be the same length. All right, there's your little hairs at the top. So the last step is to make the eyes, and you can just make one and sew it on right there if you want to, but today I'm going to make two for this particular hat. So we start off with our black, and we're going to do our magic circle and place 8 single crochets in the magic circle. So we're going to chain 1, do 8 single crochet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to pull it tight, slip stitch to join. Sometimes I pull up that loop with the hook so I can see the slip stitch better. And that's all of the black that we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and snip that off. And the good thing about these eyes is that they are going to be sewn onto the hat, so you don't even have to weave these ends in. You just have to tie a knot to make sure that they don't come undone, and then just snip it, and you don't even have to weave them in because they're going to be on the back of the hat anyway. So the next color that we have, we're done with our brown, we're going to take our taupe and we're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So we'll start with our loop here. We're going to do a chain 1 first. So insert your hook, chain 1, and do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So in that same stitch, we're going to have 2, 1, 2. Next stitch we have 2, 1, 2. Next stitch we have 2. This is 3. We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to slip stitch to join and cut this yarn off. Then we are done with our taupe. Put that one aside. We're going to attach our white. We're going to do half double crochets around. So we start with our slip knot, insert your hook, do a chain 1. You can do the standing stitches to start out with instead of the chain 1 if you want to, but since it's just a little tiny eye, I normally just do a chain. If I were doing like a whole hat, then I would do the standing stitches. So 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. Hide this in there. We'll tie those later so that they don't keep popping out. 2, 1, 2, 1. Again, these are half double crochets. 2, 1, oops, 2, 1, all the way around here. All right, last 2 stitches, 2 half double crochets, 1 half double crochet, skip over your chain, and slip stitch into the top right there. All right, you're done with your white. Oops. Last color is your gray. Oops. This one's gray. Set off with your slip stitch, or your slip knot rather. And these are just going to be single crochets around. So you insert it in here. Stuck on that white yarn. There we go. Chain 1. You're going to do 2 double crochets. I'm sorry, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. then single crochet in the next 2 all the way around. Then you'll slip stitch to join. So 2 single crochet next 2. You could also technically do like the reverse single crochet. That would make an interesting edging for these, I guess they're like goggles. Yep, skipped a 2 single crochet. So 2, 1, 1, finish off that one. 2, 1, 1. And if you just do single crochet around the entire thing and not have 2 single crochets in some of the stitches, then it'll actually like curve in. So that's why we can continue with the increased pattern with our 2 and then 1, 1. And then we're going to slip stitch to join. That's the end of our eyeball. So we're going to cut a long tail because this is going to sew onto our hat. And then what I do is I just tie these together. You can weave them in if you want to. If that bugs you to just have them tied, you can definitely weave them in. But they're going to be sewn onto the hat anyway. And if they're tied in a knot, they're definitely not going to come undone. Just as long as they're not like these two, you have to be careful that they don't accidentally stick through the side when you're trying to sew it on. But as long as you watch for that, then you'll be fine. So just cut these off. So the last step is to sew these on, just like that. And then you're all done. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks, bye.